Welcome to the weekly World Climate Change News. I'm Alexandra, and today we will speak about the following. Storm Anna, a wake-up call for climate action in Africa. Climate change forcing communities to relocate. Climate resilience is linked to income security. Nuclear energy will unlikely tackle climate crisis. Portugal worried about droughts. Extreme weather causes death of 142,000 Europeans. Coral reefs endangered by global warming. So let's begin. Storm Anna, a wake-up call for climate action in Africa. Last week, a devastating storm killed 86 people in Madagascar, Mozambique and Malawi. The impact on the population was tremendous. Hundreds of people were forced to leave their homes following the destruction. Storm Anna shows how sadly climate crisis is in reality. Extreme weather conditions are negatively impacting the most vulnerable. Now South Africa countries urgently need funds to increase their climate adaptation strategies. GHG emissions roaring in the US. Last year, US GHG emissions increased by 6.2% as the reliance on coal for power generation increased. Besides, the ease of COVID-19 restrictions prompted life to return to normal, especially with regards to freight trucks transporting goods and the power sector greenhouse gas emissions, recording an increase of emissions by 6.6%. These spikes make it more difficult for the US to achieve its emission targets and to keep the promises made on climate change mitigation. East Africa communities face severe climate risk. Many communities in East Africa are struggling with increasing threats coming from devastating climate change events. They have to struggle with a dual reality, from one side flooding and on the other side drought, due to the intensifying change of weather patterns in the Indian Ocean. To combat these dual rising threats, the government is trying to extend food supplies into the affected regions, but the intervention is insufficient to resolve this crisis. Nuclear energy will unlikely tackle climate crisis. Former top officials from national nuclear regulators have said nuclear technology is too costly, risky and unlikely to have an impact quickly enough to tackle climate change. Nuclear energy could not be part of any feasible strategy to reduce greenhouse gases. These comments were made in a joint statement by experts who have been involved in government nuclear regulation and radiation protection levels in the US, Germany, France and the UK. Portugal worried about droughts. The Portuguese government called for new restrictions with regards to water use. The hydropower dams are now primarily used for human consumption, not for electricity production and irrigation. The use of hydropower for electricity has to be stopped as more than half of the country suffers from moderate drought. In the Algarve region, the drought situation is the worst. Farmers are worried about their crops. This shows the importance of introducing climate change mitigation and adaptation measures. Extreme weather causes death of 142,000 Europeans. According to a study published by the European Environment Agency, in the past 4 decades, 142,000 Europeans have lost their lives due to extreme weather events. 91% of the climate change-related deaths have been linked to heat waves. 80,000 Europeans died in 2003 because of heat waves. There has also been financial damage linked to the extreme weather events. For instance, in Germany, the financial damage amounted to 107 million euros in the past 40 years. The European Environment Agency thus stressed the importance of improving climate change adaptation measures in the whole Europe. Coral reefs endangered by global warming. A new study paints an even grimmer future for coral reefs. Refugia, places in the ocean that protect coral reefs from thermal stress, will decline substantially in the near future as a result of human-induced climate change. Subsequently, the loss in refugia will expose coral reefs to thermal stress, which most likely won't be absorbed, threatening marine biodiversity and food security. Management efforts are needed to protect the marine ecosystem. Thank you for watching. This was Alexandra for the Weekly World Climate Change News. I hope you find this interesting and please like, comment, subscribe and see you here next week.